is that? Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god!
And if you found this recording, you have to share it, or it'll be after you too.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome to episode of Found Footage Fridays, a series in which we talk about found footage on a Friday with my co-host, Mike and Serial.
Hey y'all, happy Found Footage Friday. Hope you're having a great Friday. Hope it's even better now that you're listening to us.
I got so wrapped up in the new intro, I was like, oh, the timer's going to run out, and then I got to do like my thing.
I almost broke character and was going to talk to you about the intro, and then I'm like, wait, no, we're recording.
We're in the middle of it. So technically, by the time you guys see this episode, the previous week with our insanely wonderful conversation with Tusia Lyman from Mothers of Monsters, you'll have already seen this intro because it was, but this is our first time recording since we edited it together and seeing it like on camera because we did a countdown with her because we didn't have it done yet. So anyway, so super funny because I was like, I'm like, oh, right, work.
Professionalism.
Professional. We all know how great we are about that over here. Yeah, so we're back. So we technically, other than our interview with Tusia Lyman, we have not done a Found Footage Friday episode since we recorded in November. This is our first one. So it'll be interesting to start with this one, coming back into things. So the movie that we're going to be talking about today is the 2025 found footage movie, The Decedent. Didn't know that that was a word. I kept reading it as decadent, and I thought it was a cannibalism story.
Me too.
Okay, all right.
Well, I knew what it was about, but I kept saying the Decadent. I was like, it's a weird name. And then I kind of kept saying like the Descendants a lot. And I'm like, oh, that makes more sense. And then in the movie, she's like, the Decedent. I'm like, oh,
I did
that's
not
a
know
word.
that there was like a professional like term for a dead person like that. I didn't know that that was like a thing. I had no idea.
I legit thought that it was just corpse. And maybe that
Genuinely, me
was
too.
rude of me,
I was like,
but
well, and I think they call it that to make it sound more human, right? Or it's
yeah.
very humanizing to say it that way instead of referring to them as the deceased, the body, the corpse. So anyway, you learn something new every day. So a short synopsis on this. In a family owned funeral home, a young mortician finds herself confronted with the supernatural as she works on the deceased body of a serial killer. We'll start with unspoiled thoughts. What are you thinking?
So I enjoyed this for the most part. I went in with a little bit higher expectations. I try not to, obviously, because I don't want to like get something out of it based off of what I thought it could have been.
No, I totally get
But
that.
I chose this movie because it came out late November or early November of 2025, and it got a lot of hype. Like I saw so many people talking about it on Twitter, on Instagram. So I was like, okay, this will make for an episode. Like, because whether or not we enjoy it or not, other people do. So there's got to be something in this.
Yeah.
I was a little let down, but I did enjoy it for what it was because I thought, to me, I kept hearing the reference of this is basically like the autopsy of Jane Doe, but found footage style, which sign me up because love that movie. I could see why some people would be saying that. It's similar. I just didn't get that same level of dread consistently throughout the movie. I thought it was a fine movie. I wasn't blown away. I did like the chemistry between the two lead actors. I thought they had a fun friendship, but it seems like someone wants more, but it's still very friendshipy. I thought there was a good dynamic there. I thought there were some scares in there. I thought there was some stuff that tried a little too hard. But overall, it was a fine movie to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much on board with that as far as like I was first of all, conceptually it's super cool. I was not as big a fan of Jane Doe as everyone else in the world is, and I understand that. I apologize, fans. I'm just it just didn't hit for me. I was like, yeah, okay, I guess. But the idea of anything that, especially because and I know a female mortician in real life, and she has talked to me a lot about the industry and how hard it is to be a woman in that industry, and it is very difficult. So I loved the idea of getting to see a female mortician in this type of situation. It just there were some things about it that I thought worked that sounded really good on paper, right? But I think maybe didn't go all the way through with execution. Um, I think that this is another example of found footage movies that rely very heavily on glitches to be their effect, right? So we've seen movies do it and it works really great and you don't mind it. And then other times where you're like, okay, like we get it. Like it makes the camera glitch. Like do something. I need something a little bit different. I don't really typically prefer found footage movies that rely on that as heavily as this one did. And I will say the first two-thirds of this, I was not sold. I was like, oh, I don't really like this. It's not I didn't think the acting was out of this world. I didn't think that the storyline was super cohesive and I was kind of struggling. What I can say redeemed it a little bit for me is the body horror, and I won't go into too much, we'll talk more about specific scenes when we get to spoilers, but this there is a hard shift in the 3rd act,
Yeah.
very hard shift, and when that happens, I was not prepared for how well the body horror was and the gore and stuff because I had just seen the other 2/3 of the movie, so I was like, "Oh, Lord," you know? But I have to say that that part was done very, very, very well, and our main female protagonist, I guess, she I feel like really showed up for the final act, whereas I didn't really find her engaging, initially, and so I think the 3rd act is going when we get to the rating in just a second, the 3rd act is really what I'm rating because the first 2/3 of this movie just did not have me at all. I thought it was very glitch heavy, I just didn't think it made a lot of sense, and I was just kind of like, "Yeah, okay, I guess," like, I
Yeah.
was just kinda there to watch it because we were gonna talk about it, and so I'm gonna watch it, right? So, but the 3rd
I
act, I think, did
I
elevate.
definitely get where you're coming from on the glitch effect because it was very glitch heavy. What I will say to me, I think because we were supposed to sense the paranormalness of it
Mhm.
throughout the movie, I guess, or like they were trying to get us to
Yeah,
think paranormal
sure.
throughout the movie. I think that's for me why I was a little forgiving on the glitch
Mhm.
because that I mean, it's a little lazy on the explanation of like, oh, it's
Yep.
glitching because paranormal.
Ghost. Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I would say some extra things that could have been done that would have saved face for that is make his voice show up on her little recording thing that she's doing. Make that
You would have
glitch. Make
thought.
make the camera move. Make the sound design your bitch and like make it work for you because she's in for some of the movie, she's there alone.
Hmm.
Like, there was a lot of potential with atmosphere there that the glitch effect totally removed for me, and I just think there were other ways to get across the, paranormal side, like, I think a great example, right, is the VHS clip from I forget which VHS it is, but the funeral scene from one of the VHS movies, where the girl is there and she's getting ready to have the ceremony and that whole thing, they did a really good job of kinda making that weird and creepy, and I just think in such a confined, already unsettling, uncomfortable, depressing place, there's a lot of other ways to utilize paranormal activity, so to speak, without using a glitch effect. The glitch effect drives me crazy. And it's not just this movie. There's a bunch of found footage movies that heavily depend on it to be like the thing that works for the movie, and it never does. It has to have other things with it, or to me, it just doesn't work. So,
Yeah.
um, what do you rate this?
Uh, like I said, it's fine. It's on the more average side, and like you said, it does pick up, and I think
Mhm.
that's a big saving grace.
Yeah.
The final act, the third
Yeah.
act of this, is
Yep.
really where you get everything you want out of this movie.
Yep.
I will give this a 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
5.5. All right. I'm going lower than that. I'm going to give this a 3.5. And I think without that third act, it would be way lower than that because I just didn't buy the story, I guess. Um, but no, I think it's a fine movie. Will I revisit it? Probably not. It's probably not going to make any high recommend list for me. I think the concept was really cool, but the execution was just not quite there. Um, so yeah, so that's kind of where I stand with it as far as the rating goes. Let's put our little banner up. Boop. Okay. Um, okay, so spoilers, I guess, right? So I don't know. Is there anywhere you want? I'm trying to think if there's somewhere specific I want to start. Is there anywhere specific you want to start for spoilers?
Honestly, for me,
Yeah.
so a big thing in this movie
Hmm.
is the reason for the cameras in this movie is because they put
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
security cameras because they were getting vandalized and people were breaking in
Hmm.
to the funeral home. So that's why they have them. And again, we get this paranormal shift in this movie.
Hmm.
But I love that they circled back to there really was vandalism.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, that's kind of where things really take off.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I would really go is I did enjoy that part of it because once
Hmm.
those two kids, teenagers ish, young
Young
adults,
adult.
they showed up, that's when things really take a left.
Yeah. You might you might be over 30 if you start referring to people in their 20s as young adults. Um, yeah,
Were that's how old they were?
I think they were supposed to be like 20, at least 20. I don't
Okay,
know.
so I feel like they considering how that they were robbing a funeral home, I would
Yeah, they're
assume
selling the chemicals, right? That's
yeah.
what they were doing
So
and stealing.
I would hope that we're looking at 20 at least 20.
I don't think teenagers, well, not that it's smart to break into a funeral home and steal chemicals, but I feel like teenagers would never think to do that. So I think
I
they're
just
supposed to be.
they looked 15, 16 years old to me.
Oh,
That's
see, I
why.
thought they looked older than that. Weird. Okay, well, them coming back, I think, was a nice little touch. I think that they did fine as far as utilizing or answering the question rather of like, okay, why are there cameras? What are we doing? I think her little thing for students, I think worked really great. I thought the her having the camera and recording and stuff, I had no problems with any of that. She plays her own music, which is the only time music is allowed in found footage movies for anyone who didn't know. And, so I thought that was fine. You know what I think would have really changed it? So, ultimately what happens is she's working on the body of this serial killer. Well, the serial killer is connected to essentially possession style ritualistic things related to trying to bring up, whatever, whatever. And so I don't have a problem with that. That's cool. I would be creeped out if I had to work on the body of somebody I knew had taken a lot of lives. For
Yeah.
me, what I thought was crazy that would have been really a lot better if they had kind of shifted was he had already done like 70 something people and he needed like 100 or whatever it was. He was so far off from how many people he needed to kill that I was like, there's no way she accomplishes this tonight. Like, she would have to kill, like, 30 people, and what they should have done is had this long track of killers where they only needed, like, 4 more? She kills 4
Yeah.
people, 4 or 5 people, 5 or 6 people. She kills her dad too, so 6. She kills 6 people. He should have had 94 done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they could have gone the Monster Project route and showed something like coming up or something changing, and that would have really changed this for me. But when they said that he needed 100, I was like, "There's no way she's getting that many done in this amount of time. There's no way. She'd have to like kill everyone in like a hotel or like it would have to
Yeah.
be something, you know." And so that was kind of like it didn't feel super threatening. I mean, it sucks for
It
her and the
kills the
people in the
suspense.
space. Yeah, it does because it's like there's no way that's going to happen. So you already know it's either going to end on a cliffhanger where you don't know if she accomplishes it or she's going to die. It's going to be one of the two things that's probably going to happen and pass it on to somebody else. But I just yeah, I don't know. The guy Duncan, I think is his name. I liked his little part in it. He's the handyman or whatever for the funeral home. I can't imagine he has that much to do to be full time, But whatever. So, it's a small building, but he's the handyman, and he's kind of a part of this little family of it's ran by a father and daughter. I do have to say their funeral commercial was cute.
Yes.
I did like the funeral, but I will tell you, it was a tell sign to me that I probably was not going to be a big fan of the movie. But I did think that was very cute, awkwardly cute, and I did appreciate it. Was very endearing. I did find that very cute. But he's kind of this like, he's involved in this family, and he's kind of friends with her, and so he's around and he's helpful, and he reinstalls a lock or whatever he's doing, and offers her liquor. So it's interesting, but I think that like his death was kind of. Like, I didn't feel very like, "Oh, no." You know what I mean?
I thought it was a fun death, but
Yeah,
like,
well, it's very dramatic, yes,
yeah,
I would agree with that,
but
yeah.
emotionally driven, I was not that connected. I
Yeah, I
liked
didn't
the
really care.
chemistry between them, but I don't I didn't feel for him in the way where I'm like, "Oh, no, I can't believe that." I'm just kinda like, "Okay."
Yeah, I didn't really care about anybody that died.
Yeah.
The people who broke in got what they got.
Well, yeah.
But and then the ex-boyfriend, I wasn't really buying that story because I felt like that was kinda thrown at us. I didn't like that, and not that, I'm already weird about the love interest stuff anyway, but in particular, it was like, I'm gonna call Mark.
Well, it was
And
very
then
shoehorned in for another
yeah,
death.
and he's like, "Oh, you are?" And that's like them staring at each other with this like, and we're like, "What?" And then she's like, "Oh, he's my ex, and I know blah blah blah." Anyway, and so then I did feel bad for the dad. The dad was a cutie pie. He's like going out on a date, and they had a really cute little dynamic. She's like, "Just go have your date. Like, enjoy your time, whatever." And then she kills him at the end too, which I did. I was a little like bummed. I was like, "Damn." But if I saw my kid like in their underwear covered in blood, and my immediate would be to go to them too. Like, I don't think I would be able to control that. Now, if it's just somebody I just know, I'm not going anywhere near them. But my child, someone that I raised, yeah, no, I'm going to see who hurt them because that's going to be
Yeah.
your immediate assumption. And so then he dies, and I was like,
I
you
think
are,
many people would agree with you there for sure.
yeah. And so it's not like that was irrational by any means. Um, but yeah, ultimately, I think that the third act was just where all the body horror in this was good. When she goes over to the decedent and does I almost said lobotomy. That's not what it's called. Lord. The embalming station where she does I'm like, that's real. They really
Yeah.
do that. They drain all the blood and they replace it with this disgusting liquid that preserves the body so we can look at them, for their little moment, and then they, however you proceed after that. Some people get cremated, some people get buried. And so that was almost hard to watch. The vein scene was so, so, so well done. If for whatever reason anybody from this film watches this, be the one takeaway that you take from me, none of the negative. Just focus on the fact that y'all nailed that scene because I had to look away. I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even like to see my own blood being drawn. It freaks me out." That's like our life force. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, anyway, so that scene was so, 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 so good. So good, but it like the rest of it around it never like rose to the occasion, but damn did they nail that scene. That scene was intense.
Yeah, and well, like we said, the third act, the body horror,
Yeah.
the acting in the third act, uh,
Mhm.
was where everything was. And we've talked
Yeah.
about this plenty of times on the channel, the old-fashioned found footage effect of nothing really happens, and
Yeah,
then
and then
bam.
yeah,
It's a
all it
it's a formula, and like we said, a lot of the times it can work if you have a really good story and you know how to sell it. Again, I didn't hate it. I was engaged, but
yeah,
they are very lucky to have that third act because by the time you got there, I could see people turning it off before they got there, or
yeah.
you're at your end. Like, okay, you better do something.
You're already so annoyed because 'cause you're like, "Okay, for real, what are we doing here?" Yeah. No, I
But
agree with that.
it was a payoff. I really did enjoy
Yeah.
that payoff, but like you said earlier, the one thing, as much as I liked all of that part of it, I
Yeah.
don't think it's rewatchable for
It's
me.
not. No, it's not for me either. I would say that it's so frustrating as like a viewer too, because like I don't pretend to know what goes into filmmaking. We've talked to plenty of filmmakers. We know it's hard. And never in my life has a negative review ever been because I didn't appreciate or respect the art as it is. But I just think like I get frustrated as a viewer when the ideas are so solid and they just don't achieve like what it's kind of like we talked about one previously where the name of the movie was so dope and then it was like not a good movie. And so it's like the idea going into this, I was like, okay, this sounds really cool. It's a very confined spooky place, like let's go. I'm thinking mortuary assistant, I'm thinking that VHS clip, and I'm here for it. And it just didn't really deliver that. It was the first two-thirds are just they're kind of a little bit of a just a tumble through, and then you're like, okay, you get to the third act, you're like, okay, cool. And then by the time I feel like you get into it and there's really good stuff happening, then it's over. And so you're like, well,
There
so
you go.
yeah, for sure. Um, was there anything else spoiler wise? I think we pretty much talked about the main
Yeah,
plot points. Okay,
I think
I'll
that
take a
was
look.
all the good spoilers.
Yeah, that's all the good stuff. Yeah, so this is on Tubi. So if you like the idea and you think it's something, I do think this has an audience. I mean, for God's sake, it has a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. People do like this movie. It's not
Oh yeah.
like everybody's disappointed or complaining about it. So, um, and I hope, as I always say this and I always mean it, I hope they continue to make found footage movies. We need innovative found footage movies. And this is, I would say, does fall under that category of unique takes on found footage and such a weird place. And I really like that part, the idea of it. So, maybe they'll take what they did this time and maybe do something even crazier the next time and really push it to kind of elevate the experience for the viewers. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So next week on Found Footage Fridays, we are covering Fey, Fey. Don't get hung up on the title. If you do, you're going to be sharing a lot of my feelings for next week's review. Go watch it. It's on Found TV so that you're ready for the conversation next week. And thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. If you have not checked out the interview with Tusia Lineman, please go watch that episode. She was a delight and she was so insightful and had so many cool things to say, on top of the fact that it's a badass movie. So if you have not seen that episode, go back and watch it.
And if you want to catch the whole episode, please check out and subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah.
We do have some exclusive content on there, including the entire interview. And like we said, she was fantastic. She has so much information. You want to see the interview with her.
Yeah. And if you sign up now, you do get access to all the backlog of content. So you get to see everything. And depending on the tier, if you do the tier above the Found Footage Friday tier, you get 2 Patreon exclusive movie reviews. And then as the year goes on, we're going to be adding things to tiers as well. So yeah, check it out. Link should be in the description for this episode, as well as Mike's socials. If you're not already following him, I don't know what you're doing here. Go follow. All right, cool. So we'll see you guys next week for Fey, Fey, on Found. And we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week when you get to it. And Mike and I will see you next week.
Bye.